Technique doesn't matter if you don't have good endurance. You can have perfect punches, but if you're gasping for air after 2 rounds, you're done. I know this firsthand. I was a 2-round fighter, sharp in the first few minutes, then completely useless. After a tough talk with my coach, I realized my cardio was holding me back. So I went to work. I studied top fighters, learned from my own struggles, and developed this 3-step system that transformed my endurance. Today, I'm sharing that exact system that took me from gassing out in round 2 to dominating for 5 full rounds. These 3 methods will build the stamina to push harder, last longer, and make your opponents fear you in the later rounds. Let's start with mastering your breathing. Breathing isn't just about survival in the ring. It's a tool most fighters completely misunderstand. Think about your breath like the engine of a high-performance machine. One wrong move, and you'll burn out before the real fight even begins. Early in my training, I noticed something critical. The fighters who lasted longest weren't necessarily the ones who trained the most. They were the ones who understood how to breathe. Not just inhale and exhale, but use their breath to conserve energy, tighten defense, and create rhythm. When you throw a punch, your breath becomes your secret weapon. It's not about how much air you can take in, it's about your control when breathing out. When you throw a punch, exhale sharply. This does 3 things. First, it instantly engages your core muscles. Second, it prevents unnecessary tension. And third, it creates a natural rhythm that helps you conserve energy throughout the fight. You also need to control your breathing after exchanges. When your opponent is a little farther away and you're safe, take a moment to reset your breath. If you let your heart rate stay very high for too long, you'll gas out quickly. Try to think about these things consistently until it becomes natural. Now let's talk about actually training your endurance. Forget everything you know about traditional cardio. We're not here to just look good. We're here to build the kind of conditioning that breaks your opponents. Jump rope became my go-to a long time ago. It's not just about cardio, it's about relaxation, rhythm, and stamina in the ring. But I'm not talking about the casual jumping you might remember from gym class. I'm talking about strategic, fight-specific training. Most fighters approach cardio like a chore. They'll run mindlessly on a treadmill or do endless repetitions that have nothing to do with actual fighting. But real stamina is built by recreating fight conditions with precise focus. Start with 3-minute rounds of jump rope. Then begin reducing your rest times. If you're giving yourself too much time to recover, you're not simulating a real fight. Gradually cut those rest times to 1 minute or less. Another thing that can greatly increase your stamina is just plain old shadow boxing. But don't just square up and start throwing some crazy combinations. Focus on your technique and practice specific punches, defensive moves, and footwork. This way, you get to work on your endurance while practicing moves you can use in real fights. What I like to do is combine both of these. I'll do a round of jump rope, then some shadow boxing in between, and then back to jump rope after a short rest. Finally, let's talk about punch economy. The truth is, most of the punches you throw are useless. Boxing isn't just about how hard you can hit. It's about how intelligently you can fight. In my first year of training, I was throwing wild punches, thinking they were powerful and impressive. But after a few minutes, I was drained. Punch economy is all about precision. Every single punch needs a strategic purpose beyond just looking tough or feeling powerful. A true fighter doesn't throw punches, they create opportunities. When you throw a punch, you're doing more than attempting to hit your opponent. You're disrupting their rhythm, you're making them react, and you're forcing adjustments that drain their energy as well. A calculated jab isn't just a touch, it's a psychological weapon. It makes your opponent uncomfortable. It forces them to move, to think, and to adjust. Use your punches to set up and create opportunities. For example, you could throw a rear uppercut to get your opponent to raise their hands, and then a left hook to the body while they're unprotected. The main point is, don't just throw random punches in order to do something. If you're unsure, don't throw anything and wait for an opening in your opponent's defense. When you master this, you can start to include feints, but that's a topic for another video. This system is the difference between a fighter who just looks good and a fighter who wins consistently. Before I wrap up, I want to connect these stamina techniques to something even more powerful. Stamina is all about maintaining your highest level of performance when your opponent is breaking down. So, if you want to take it up a notch, you should work on your punches extensively. I got an entire video breaking down how to develop devastating punching power. Watch it next. Train smart, stay sharp, and I'll see you in the next video.